We are in a very competitive real estate market right now. So, as a buyer, how do you write an offer that's going to get accepted? I'm Jenny Hendricks at Century 21 Prestige Realty. I am going to give you 10 tips for writing a great purchase offer in a seller's market. Tip number 1. The first thing you need to do is get pre-approved with a really good lender, okay? You've got to have that pre-approval lender ready to submit with your offer. That is just not negotiable in the market that we are in. And if you have a really aggressive lender, maybe ask that lender to call the listing agent in addition to presenting that pre-approval letter, just to make sure there's that extra connection and that the listing agent can pass that information on to the sellers and let them know that the lender is on board and can perform according to the terms in the offer. Tip number 2, hire an assertive real estate agent. This is really important in the market that we are in. You've got to have someone who is in the market every day, who's looking at those new listings, who is sending you things to look at right when they come on the market. I will give you an example. I took a listing on a Saturday, put it into the MLS. Within 2 hours, I had an agent call, took the buyer through, and within another hour, we had an offer. The sellers reviewed it, we went under contract. Sometimes that is how quickly you have to move in the market that we are in. Tip number 3, write a friendly offer. Don't include demands on the seller that are going to make them irritated or, just not really take your offer quite as seriously. I'll give you an example. We had a buyer who we were in a competitive offer situation, so I think there were 3 offers that had been submitted. This buyer offered $5,000 over list with an escalation clause to another $5,000. So we were potentially at $10,000 over list price. But the buyer then wanted to add in that the seller needed to clean the carpets on their way out, and our offer did not make it. So that's something to really be aware of. Present a great, solid offer, one that's going to really shine and make the sellers pay attention to your offer. Tip number 4, put your best foot forward right out of the gate. And what I mean by this is write your best offer first. Don't lowball, thinking that the seller, can counter if they want to. In the competitive market that we are in, you really need to make that offer shine. Put the best offer you've got right out there, right out of the gate, because you probably will be competing against other buyers. Tip number 5, put down a healthy earnest money deposit, okay? This is something where it's going to help the seller feel like you've got some skin in the game, like you're really serious about purchasing this property. Markets are different in the sense that in different areas, a higher earnest money deposit might be more typical. In other areas, a lower earnest money deposit might be fine. In the market that we're in right now, somewhere around a 1% of the offer price is going to be considered a good earnest money deposit. If you can put down more than that, it's going to make that offer seem even stronger. You're probably going to build some contingencies into that offer, so just pay attention to those dates and your earnest money is going to be protected. All right, tip number 6, cash talks. If you have the ability to pay cash, your offer is going to be received a lot better. So, and it seems sometimes counterintuitive because to the seller, it's all cash, right? Whether the buyer is getting a loan or whether they're just, taking the money out of their account. But cash offers typically have fewer contingencies. Oftentimes they can close quicker, a lot of times sellers just feel like it's a safer option for them. So if you have the ability to do so, pay cash. Tip number 7, shorten up those inspection periods, okay? Sellers do not want to leave their property off the market for a really long period of time while you're going through that inspection process. There's a sort of a fear of missing out, kind of a FOMO for the sellers. If there's another buyer out there, they don't want to hold their property off the market for an extended period of time. So it's really going to help if you can have an inspector lined up and ready to go within a few days after acceptance of that offer. That will help the seller feel a little bit more secure that you are really invested in this and you're ready to move forward. Tip number 8. I want to approach this one very carefully. Tip number 8 is to waive some of the contingencies in the offer. In some markets, this is being done regularly. In our market, I haven't seen it as much. If you have the ability to waive some of those contingencies, it is going to make your offer a lot stronger. That said, work really closely with your agent and make sure that you're comfortable waiving those contingencies, because you are giving up some of your rights that you typically find in the contract. Tip number 9. You have got to be quick in the market that we are in, okay? So when your agent alerts you of a property that might be a good fit for you, you've got to move on it quickly. You've got to make an appointment, you've got to go out and see it, and hopefully be the first person to write that offer. It does make a difference. Now, if you're out of town, if you're working, if you can't get out right now and go see that property, see if your agent will go take a video for you. See if your agent can do a FaceTime with you, or some other mechanism so that your agent can walk around even if you can't physically be there. I will tell you, in the last 6 months, I have written more offers sight unseen for the buyers than ever in the over 20 years that I have been doing this. It is a thing in the market that we are in. So consider the necessity to act quickly once you are alerted to a property that might be a good fit for you. Tip number 10, offer to close quickly, or offer to let the seller stay in the home longer. This is where communication between the agents is really, really important. Have your agent call the listing agent, and before you submit the offer, ask the listing agent what is important to the seller. Is it more important for the seller to close quickly? Is it more important for the seller to have a longer time after closing before they have to move? Find out those details so that you can tailor your offer to more of what is going to make the seller comfortable right out of the gate. So you don't have to wait for a counter offer. You should already know what kinds of details are really going to make your offer come to the top. I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions about our market, check out my Instagram. I do a market update every single week, so you're going to know exactly what is going on. I am Jenny Hendricks at Century 21 Prestige Realty. Let me know if I can be a resource for you, and best of luck out there in the market.